Hello everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. In last session we have seen about checkbox handling, and in today's session we will see how to handle drop downs. So in drop down we can select any one element, right? We have seen drop down elements in various type of forms where we have to select any one of the element from the drop down list. If you see the example of Facebook sign up page, this is the sign up page for Facebook. If you see, there is a month drop down, right? We will see example of this month drop down. In this list, whenever you click on it, you can see all the month present in the list, and we can select any one value from this drop down. Now we will see by using Selenium how we can select the value from drop down list and what are the different operations which we can perform on the drop down. So now let's go to PyCharm. Let's create a new Python file. I am naming it as dropdown demo. So we have created a new Python file. I am just pasting some of the code of our previous session. So this is the basic code where we are importing some of the packages like WebDriver package, options, service. These are the models which we are importing. We have created options class object, and in which we have added experimental option detach value as true, so that after execution of the script our browser instance will remain open. And we have created service class object, and in which we are passing executable path. This is the path to our Chrome driver.exe file. So this is the executable path we are passing in service class object, and both of this value we are passing while creating the driver instance. Webdriver.chrome, we are creating the driver instance and we are passing both this value here. And by using this driver instance or driver object, we are using driver.get method, and we are passing sign up page URL of Facebook. It will open the browser and it will open this page. After opening this page, what we will see, this is the page we will see after opening this URL. Now inspect, let's inspect this drop down list. So before anything, first we have to locate the drop down list. If you see the drop down list, this is the drop down list. What is the tag name here? So whenever there is a drop down list, there will be a select tag. For drop down list, if you see, this is the drop down list for date, this is for month, this is for year. For all three drop down, select is a tag. What is the tag name? Select is a tag name. So we have seen for input fields we have input tags. Similarly for links we have anchor tags, and for drop down list there will be a select tag. And in this select tag, if you expand this, you can see multiple options here. So every option is a separate web element. Now in the select list, basically this is the drop down. So this is the drop down element, and within that element there are multiple elements, multiple options are present. These are the options which are basically displayed here. Every option is a separate web element, and from this we have to select any one value. Now let's see how we can do that. So how to select any specific value from the drop down list? We have three methods for that. But before that, we have to identify and locate this element. We have to first identify drop down list element. So let's try to write XPath for this month drop down list. If you see in this select tag, what are the attributes? I can use ID attribute having value of month. So let's try to write XPath for that. 2 times /s. After that I am using star @ID, and then use month as a value. So it is highlighting that drop down list. So first we have to find this locator of drop down list. So this will locate the locator. It will just locate this drop down list. It will not select anything. It will just locate this drop down list element. So let's try to locate it. Driver dot find element by dot xpath, comma, and then we can provide the value of xpath. So it will locate that drop down list. I'm just naming it as month drpdwn. So I'm just storing that web element in this variable. It will locate the drop down list of the month. After locating it, now we have to select one value from that list. We have to select one value from that drop down. For that we have to use select class. There is a class called select that we have to create object first. So I am just creating object and storing it as a month, and then we can use select class. We have to first import it. If you hover on it, it will say you to import it. selenium.webdriver.support.select.select. So this is the valid one. If you select this module, you can see month equals to select. So it will create the select class object. And in this we have to pass locator of that drop down, which we have just located. So I am just passing the web element locator. So this will basically locate. So driver.find element by xpath, and we have passed the locator of the drop down list. It is storing it in month underscore drop down web element, and this value we have to pass here. And this is the month is a select class object, and by using this object, now we can select by using visible text, value, or index. So any one of the method we can use. So I will just show you all three. First, let's select by visible text. Now what is visible text here? If you go, whatever values we are seeing in the drop down are basically visible text values. These are all visible text values. If you see, this is the select tag. This value is basically visible text. This is the visible text. Jan, Feb, MAR, APR, MAY, all these are visible text value. So if I want to select, let's say August, I want to select August, I will just put visible text as AUG. If you see what is the visible text for AUG, if you see AUG, it's a visible text for August month. So after passing this, it should select that August value. But before that, I am just putting some time here, time.sleep, so that we can just see it by selecting, otherwise it will go very fast. So let's import time as well. Now let's execute the script. First we are selecting by visible text. Now let's execute the file. It will launch the browser. And after 4 seconds, that July will be converted into August. If you see, July is changed to August. That means August is selected. We are using select by visible text. Now instead of AUG, if I put MAR, it should select March value. Now let's again execute the file. It will launch the browser. And after 4 seconds, it should change to March. If you see, it is changing to March. So this is how we can use select by visible text, and we can pass the value here, and that will be selected from the drop down list. Next one is selecting by value. So I will just again use month dot select by value. Now what is the value? So if you go to the HTML, this is the option tag. Inside that value is an attribute. It is having value as 1 for January, value as 2 for February, value as 3 for March, and so on. So if I want to select again August, what will be the value I have to pass? 8 is a value which I have to pass. Now in this case, they have given value in the form of numbers. Sometimes it might happen that same value which is for visible text, it can be present in value as well. That might also happen. So we have to check what is the value exactly here. So for August, 8 is a value. So in our code, select by value, I am passing 8. Now let's execute this file. It should select August month. Again, I will just executing the file. It will launch the browser, and it should select August after 4 seconds. It is selected August, right? So this is by using select by value method. Now next one is, we can also use select by index. Now let's try to use month dot select by index. Now what is the index here? Index is basically starting from 0. So for January, index value is 0. For February, index value is 1. For March, index value is 2. So if I pass the index value here as 0, let's pass index value as 0 and let's execute the file. Now it will launch the browser and let's see what value it selects. Here we have passed index value as 0. We are selecting by index. After 4 seconds, it should select January. If you see, it has selected January. So basically this is how we can use select by index. If I pass index value as 1, so February month will have the index value of 1. So index always starts from 0. So again let's execute the file. And after 4 seconds, February should be selected here. Again February is selected. So if you see the HTML code here, index value started with 0. So January is having the 0 value. February is having 1 value. For index I am saying. If you select by visible text, we can use this value JNFEBMAR. If you are using the select by value, then we can directly use this value attribute values, and you can also use index value as well. Index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. It will not be visible directly here, but we have to assume it that first one is starting from 0. So this is having index value as 0. So these are the 3 methods which will be used to select any one value from drop down. We can use visible text, we can use select by value, or we can also use select by index. So any one of these is fine. It is recommended to use visible text because that is easily visible on our drop down list. So we can use visible text more. So far we have seen selecting option from drop down by visible text, value and index. Now let's say I want to find how many options are present inside the drop down. Now let's say I want to check in this drop down how many values are present, or I want to select and print all the values from this drop down list. How we can do that? First we will see. For that, what I will do, I am just commenting it. So by using month object, which is the object of select class, it has already provided one method, that is options. So if you type month.options, it will return all the web elements or all the list items which are present in that specific drop down list. I am just saving it in all months equals to month.options. And after that, so basically this all months it will be collection of all the elements present and in that drop down list. All the 12 elements will be stored inside this all months. So if I simply use print len, that is the length of all months, it should print value as 12. Now let's try to execute this file. It is launching the file, and let's see the console now. If you see the console, it is printing 12. That is the length of this all months, which is basically list of all the web elements which are written. So all the options which are present inside this month drop down are basically stored in all months list. This is basically list which contain all the web elements present in that drop down. That's why the length of all months is written as 12. That is the length of all months. So 12 web elements are present inside the all months list. This is how we can find how many elements are present inside the drop down by using month.options. So options is a method provided by select class. And let's say I want to print all the values of months, all the value present inside that drop down list. So how we can do that is we can simply use for loop for, let's say, month in all months. So it will iterate, it will bring each and every web element from all months in the month, and after that we can simply print. We have to extract text, right? So we have to extract text from that web element. Print month dot text. So it will print the month name, right? It will print the text value for that. So let's execute the file and let's check whether it prints all the month values in the text format. So we are fetching one by one all the web elements which are present in all months, and it should print all the values here. If you see, this is the length which we have printed, that is 12, printing the length of all months. And after that we have used for loop for the iteration. So every month from this all months is selected one by one, and it is printing the text value for it. So Jan, Feb and all the 12 values got printed here. So this is how we can print all the values of present in drop down by using for loop. And we have selected month dot options, and we have stored it in all months. So this will return all the month or all the options present in drop down list. It will store in all months, and then we are printing all the values one by one. So we have seen finding all options and printing them by using option method. Now let's say I want to use, without using, so we have used three methods here, right? If you see, we have used visible text, select by value and select by index. To select, so we have used any one of these method we can use to select any specific value from the drop down list. But in interview sometimes it might be asked, without using this method, can you select any specific value? Without using this inbuilt method, if I want to select any specific value, can we do that? Can we do that? Yes, we can do that. How to do that is very simple. Again, I am just commenting this code. So if you see, in all months, we have used month dot options, and it is storing all the 12 web elements. After that, what I will do, let's say, without using visible text, index or any select by value, without using any one of these three methods, I want to select any specific element from the drop down. So again, I will just use all months equal to month dot options, and post that what I will do, I will again use for loop. I will use for month in all months. After that, I will add one condition. Let's say I want to select August month from the drop down. So I will simply put one condition: if month dot text, that is the value of month dot text, equals to AUG. If month dot text equals to AUG, then I will simply click on that web element. I will simply click on that web element. So we have added simple condition that if month dot text equals to August AUG, then we have to simply click on it, month dot click. And after clicking on it, we don't have to go for next options. So we can simply break the loop, right? So we can simply break this loop. So it will automatically select August month whenever this condition becomes true. So if month dot text equals to August, it should click on August. Now let's execute this file and whether check if it can select August month or not. So now it is launching the browser, and after 4 seconds it will check what are the values. Whenever it finds August, it is clicking on it. So now it has selected August. So this is how we can use without any inbuilt method. So we haven't used any inbuilt method to select the specific value from the drop down. So instead of August, if I want to select, let's say, April. So I will just pass if month dot text equals to April, that is APR. That is the text value. So now let's execute it one more time. Now this time it should select April. So now it will show, should select April. So it has selected April. So this is how we can use without any inbuilt method as well. We can simply add one condition and it will select that specific value from drop down. So far we have seen finding all options and print them by using options method. Now we will see without using select class. Now we have seen that select class is present, but sometimes it might happen that there will not be a select class. So how we can identify without using select class? So if I want to select the drop down list element without using select class object, how we can do it? Now I will just show you how we can do it. Let's go to PyCharm. Let's comment this code. I'm not going to use any select class now. I will just use normal way to select the value from drop down. So let's see. To do that, first we have to find, I'm just inspecting the web elements. Now let's go to here. Yeah, so here we are inspecting it. So I will just first observe this web element, and if you see, I will just write XPath in such a way that it should select the required value from the list. So I will just write Control F. We can select any one of these, or we can just navigate via this tag as well. So let's say I am using ID equals to month. It is highlighting this. After that I am putting 2/ and let's use option. So it will highlight. So if you see this XPath, basically we have navigated from this, right? So we have selected ID equals to month. After that we have given the / and option. So it is finding all the 12 web elements. It is finding all the 12 web elements. So this locator is now, this XPath is now locating all the 12 web elements which are present in the drop down list. Now by using this locator we can store all these 12 web elements inside the list. So I am just going back to PyCharm. So now we don't have to actually use any of this visible text, or we don't have to create select class object. So what I will do is I will simply use all_months equals to driver.find elements method. This time we have to use driver.find elements method because we are passing the XPath which is pointing to multiple web elements. So this XPath is pointing to 12 web elements which are present in the drop down. So we have to use driver.find elements method. So it will store all the 12 web elements in all months. This is the list variable. And now from the list variable we can easily find out, right? So I will just use for loop month in all months, and then I will first print, let's say I'm just going to print all the values. Let's say print month dot text, and let's execute this file and let's see the output. So it should print all the month values, all the values present in the drop down in the console. It should print all the values. Let's minimize it and let's see the console now. It should print all the values. It is printing all the values. So it is identifying and printing all the values. Now from this, let's say I want to select July now. So I will simply use if month dot text equals to JUL. I am just commenting or removing this print part so we don't have to print again. Inside this, if I condition, I am just adding one condition. So if month dot text, it is a case sensitive, so we have to use the exact value. So JUL, then we have to simply click on month dot click on that value. So after using month dot click, it should select the July, and then we can use break, because if the value is selected we don't have to again check for pending elements, so we have to break the loop. Now let's execute the file. So we already by default it was selected July, so we will not be able to see the change here, but it has selected the July. So I'm just closing it, and instead of July let's use February this time, FEB. and let's execute this file. Now let's again execute the file. It should select February now. Launching the browser, and now after 4 seconds it should change to July. If you see, it is changing to February. Sorry, not July but February, because we have provided the text as a February. So if month.text equals to Feb, this is the condition, it should click on that February web element. So this is how we have seen finding all options and print them without using options method. So we haven't used any select class here. We have just identified the locator, which will point out to all the 12 elements present inside the drop down list. We have stored them in all months variable, which is a list type, and then by using for loop we have iterated one by one and printed all the values to check all the values. And if I want to select any specific value, I will just add the condition. If that text value month.text equals to the desired value which we want to select, then we should click on that. So that is the condition which we have added. So this is how we can work with drop down by using Selenium in Python. So this is how we can select any specific values. We can either use select class. We have seen by using select class we have to create object of the select class, and by using that object we can use any one of the method, that is visible text, select by value, or select by index. If you don't want to do that, we can use without select class as well. We can select the drop down values. So any approach we can use. In the next session we will see some interesting topic about Selenium with Python. So thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to my channel for more videos. Also share this channel to all your friends and whoever wants to learn from these tutorials. Also, if there is any feedback, kindly let me know. Thank you for watching this video one more time.